Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and it's a huge newspaper today. 18th September, the Hindu announced in the morning. These videos come in the evening, the MCQ lessons they come. So let's start the lesson. We will not waste our time, and Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that. And regarding these courses, the description is given below the video. You can inquire about that. You can call on these numbers, and the chat section is available here. And the PDF you will get here on this Facebook group, and the Telegram channel's link you will also find there. So Telegram is an important source, and follow the channel there. And you can follow me on Instagram too. And this is the satirical cartoon there in the newspaper today, and it is telling a lot about the present situation, so that's important. These are some words that I found today. And first article, fire to fuel. You see, we will club this article with the second article, because in this article Mahesh Sachdev explains the issue in much detail. What's going on in Yemen, what is the history, what's the problem, and what is the future, what are the consequences when these attacks, drone attacks were there on the Saudi Aramco facilities and all, and what is the geopolitical situation here. So everything is given in the second article, and this first article is a kind of a summary of it only. So let's start. Red Sea, red lines and Yemen's inflection point. You see, Yemen, first we see the map. Saudi Arabia, here this is the Arabian Peninsula, and it's mainly the desert part which is dominating the geography there. This is Rubal Khali desert of Saudi Arabia. It is the largest in terms of a contiguous sand erg, so the largest desert. This is Yemen, northern Yemen. The Sana'a city is here, and the Aden, the important city in south, which is here. South is mainly desert area, and maximum population is there in the northern part. In the northern part, Zaydis, these people live, and these are a kind of a Shia sect only. And Al-Houthis, the group with whom the Saudi forces are fighting, these are dominating the northern part of it. Means the maximum population is influenced by Al-Houthis and the Shia groups there. So this is the border, Yemen there. And the Saudi Aramco's facilities like Akbek and the Khusro facilities, these two are there near the UAE border here. So these facilities are far away from the Yemeni border there, and these are gated areas and important facilities from where world's 7% production comes, because Saudi Arabia exports 10% demand of the world, the crude oil demand. And for India, it is the second largest exporter after Iraq, and it's a oil economy that they flourished in the past. These important countries, oil producing countries, and Saudi Arabia is the leader there. But now they are foraging into different areas, and they want to go beyond the oil economics there. So these all developments are going on, and this is the situation in this present problem, the geographical situation and the groups there. Now you see, when Yemen started, then the Yemeni imams were there, and the imam, the main imam there, he gave some northern provinces to Saudi Arabia, which the northern people thought that these were ours, and these were given to Saudi Arabia, and these were for no reason. So in the north, mainly these Zaydi sect people were there, and in the south the Sunni Muslims are there. So there was a divide between these two areas, and they could never get united in its entirety. Means some problems were always there. Then what happened? The group Ansar Allah was formed in the north, because an important cleric was there, and he became rebellious against the president there, President Saleh, and they rebelled. And again this divide became much apparent there. Now we see this history, how it unfolded. As I told you, that in 1930s these provinces were given to Saudi Arabia, and then the imams fighters with Saudi support, because obviously imam when gave these areas to Saudi Arabia, then Saudi Arab was in support of this imam and its forces, so they crushed the rebellions there, and there was a civil war in 1960s. Then in 1968 the Yemeni Republic, Arab Republic, was created. Then uniting both north and south, a united republic of Yemen was finally established in 1990. After 4 years, a section of the south tried to secede, and then after 10 years in 2004, this Ansar Allah group was formed, and there was a dissident cleric Hussein Badruddin al-Houthi, and from that name came as al-Houthi group, which is fighting the Saudi Arabian forces today. So in the north, the head of the Zaidi sect, he rebelled against the President Ali Abdul Saleh. After 7 years, in November 2011, the Yemeni Arab Spring movement managed to remove Saleh, means the president was removed, and he was replaced by the southern deputy Abdrabu Mansour Hadi, which is still the president of Yemen. So Mr. Hadi replaced Saleh, and Saleh was assassinated in 2017. This was the political situation there. Now Al-Houthis rebelled against Mr. Hadi, and they ousted him, and in 2014, means 3 years before the assassination of Mr. Hadi, they rebelled against Hadi, and Hadi fled to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia there. So what just happened? Badruddin al-Houthi rebelled against Mr. Saleh, the president. Then Saleh was replaced by Mr. Hadi, and Mr. Hadi was opposed by al-Houthis, and Hadi is now living in Saudi Arabia's Riyadh, and he is running his government from there. And Mr. Saleh, who was replaced by Hadi in 17, he was assassinated. Now an ineffective government of Yemen is being run by Mr. Hadi from Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia, their forces and the support of America was there. All the weapons and aircrafts were given, and with this all airstrike capability, Saudi Arabia thought that we will crush al-Houthis very soon. So they formed a important coalition there. The Sunni powers, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and other Sunni powers, they came together, and Operation Decisive Storm that was launched against al-Houthis in March 15, and US, UK, they helped Saudi Arabia there. And since then 4 years are gone, and it's the worst kind of humanitarian crisis that is going on. All these kids are malnourished and dying with hunger, disease, poverty, everything, no education, nothing is there, means it's all a devastating stage. And Yemen is 100 years back from its present position, and more than 11,000 they are dead, and 3 million internally displaced, and actual numbers are way beyond that. These are the official numbers given by authorities, but the actual numbers are way beyond that. Now a situation is like that. The coalition and the Saudi Arabia forces, they thought that in the south rebellious forces are there and Sunni forces are there. Taking them along and the coalition, they will crush al-Houthis very easily. But it came out to be very difficult, and al-Houthis are undefeated today, and they are dominant in the north, in the Sana'a capital city, and the other important city of Yemen, that is Aden. Aden is there in the south. The south, that is the desert area, but it is way modernized because Britishers in the colonial phase, they colonized this area and they developed this area, and the Aden city was way more important because the sea route was going through that. Bab al-Mandab is way close to it. So when the Suez Canal opened, then let's look at the situation. Suez Canal, when it was opened in 1869, Red Sea, Bab al-Mandab here, and this is Aden, the Gulf of Aden, they call it Gulf of Aden. So Gulf of Aden is connected with the Red Sea with Bab al-Mandab. So that's why Britishers, they focused on this area and they developed it, and this is way more modernized than the north. But the maximum population is there in the north, and they are in the influence of al-Houthis. So there is a clear political situation there. Now what's happening? After 4 years, the coalition thinks practically Houthis are undefeated, and this is all a deadlock there. Now when this is a deadlock, and there is a kind of a indirect support of Iran to al-Houthis because both are Shias, and Iran and Arabia, they both are in a conflict of a Shia-Sunni conflict, and Saudi Arabia is good friends with America. America wants to crush Iran in all possible ways, and that's why it supported Saudi Arabia there. And it's all a proxy war in Yemen, and Yemen was caught between that, and all the people are devastated. Now the war is non-victorious for Saudi Arabia, instead of that much air strike power, and with all these weapons and all, still they are not able to defeat the Al Houthis. Now a deadlock is there. Now Al Houthis are undefeated, but the coalition, there some rifts are appearing. Means when Saudi Arabia became so much frustrated, then what happened? They tried to talk to a different political group, that is Islah. Islah is there in the south, and in the south they were talking with Islah, they were compromising with Islah, negotiating with Islah, and this thing was totally unaccepted by UAE, because UAE knows Saudi Arabia cannot win this war with Al Houthis, and Iran is still dominant, and the regional connections and these capabilities are way stronger for Iran, and that's why Al Houthis are undefeated. So UAE has its eye on Aden. Okay, and it knows that it's a very important port. UAE opens towards Persian Gulf, because it is located on the north side of the Arabian Peninsula, and Aden is there in the south. So UAE wants this access there, and it wants its dominance there. If Islah is going to come there, then Islah will try to dominate the area, and they will replace UAE influence there, and that is totally unaccepted. And that's why UAE said that the groups like Islah or any other terror groups, we will not allow, we will not talk to them, and it's better that Saudi Arabia halts the talks with Islah group. So UAE has its own aim now to capture Aden there, because it knows that in the future there will be a clear divide, and north and south, they may be divided as separate countries, and then Aden will be the capital of south, and it will be on the driving seat, and it will have the impact there, and it will have its dominance there on the Aden port there, the very important commercial port. So UAE has its own aims now. Saudi Arabia is totally isolated and confused what to do, and you see, the world is also focusing now on Yemen. It's a worst kind of crisis going on. Even American Senate, they passed an important law, and they said that important bill there, a resolution there, and they said to Trump administration that within 30 days end your all support to the Yemen war, and do not support Saudi Arabia there. It is a kind of a worst kind of humanitarian crisis that's going on, and we are also a contributor to that. But Trump denied that, and it used its veto. It said that I'm not going to stop that support there. Saudi Arabia is fighting a holy war there. They want to establish a proper government there, and they want to have the people government and the democracy ultimately. But this is all a false process, and we all know what are the intentions. Means they have declared, America has declared that they will not go into open war with Iran. But if now after these drone attacks, if Saudi Arabia and Iran, they starts fighting with each other, then America will be the most advantageous country in this region. Already, when these prices are going up, America has announced that we will bring down our crude oil prices up to $66 per barrel, because America is also exporting crude oil these days, and we are also importing there. So it knows that the world would need its demand, and Saudi Arabia's 50% production is halted. Now we will run our good business there, and America's oil people will be bound to buy there. Even India will raise the limits that we are importing from America, and it will be a great business for America. So the devastation in Saudi Arabia's Aramco facilities, it's a beneficial position for America. That is well known. And the second most important aim that would be fulfilled, that Iran and Saudi Arabia will start fighting with each other, because America is advertising this issue so passionately, and it is saying that it is all Iran who has attacked Saudi Aramco's facilities, and Saudi Aramco is the state-owned facility, and Saudi's upstream oil facilities are there in Abqaiq and Khurais, which are there in Rub al Khali desert. Upstream means upstream and downstream, two processes are there. When they are pulling crude oil from the earth, and then these facilities are there, and then purification happens in refineries. So mainly the Saudi Aramco company is the world's largest company, oil company, but it's a upstream company, means only this much process till here. This is called upstream, pulling all the crude oil from the earth, and the processing goes on for that. and then it is exported in the raw crude oil form to other countries like India. And India has the largest facility of the world, the Jamnagar facility, the Reliance India's facility, and their refineries are there. These are downstream processing, means they will purify this crude oil. So the biggest upstream oil facilities are there. Those are attacked with 10 drones, and drones are new kind of way that's very dangerous. India needs to be very much careful about those situations, because these kind of copycat attacks with the help of drones, they can be there in India too, because other groups, they can use these drones. So kind of a different attack was there. The world thought, even Saudi Arabia and all these countries thought that these facilities from where the crude oil is coming, those are well protected, but now it is all exposed that these are totally vulnerable, and there is no security. And so Saudi Arabia is totally incapable to secure its facilities from these groups, or maybe Iran, because Al Houthis, they have taken the responsibility, but they say that America is running this propaganda that Iran has attacked that. Iran is denying this attack, and Iran said that we did not do it. Many false allegations America has put on us, but this time it is a clear no from us. We have not taken any responsibility, and we have not done these attacks. We do not want any bitter relation with Saudi Arabia there, but America is going with this move. Now it's again an additional allegation on Iran, and more justification is there for attacking Iran. But now America will not attack, and let's see, it may be a possibility that Saudi Arabia is going to attack Iran in a near future, because these facilities are very crucial for their economy, and 50% of production is halted, and it will hit the economy of Saudi Arabia very drastically. So anything can be happening from here. Now till Monday, 19% initial surge was there, and it went up to $71 per barrel from $60, and they may touch $100 per barrel very soon, and it will be devastating for Saudi Arabia and for other countries like India too. And way worse the situation it would be for India like countries, because already we have spent last year $1 billion extra because the prices rose. Even if the $1 is increased in the per barrel price, then we get a loss of $1.5 billion here in India. And now if these will rise around $40 per barrel, then it will be devastating for Indian economy. So forex reserves and trade deficit all will be in a problematic situation. So we have condemned this act. Now here in this situation, when the rift is growing within the Saudi-led coalition, and UAE is targeting Aden there, and Saudi Arabia is totally frustrated, so there can be very negative possibilities in the future, in the near future. Okay, and that's why they are contacting ISLA. They were contacting ISLA, and now in frustration they may do anything here. And the STC, which was created in 2017 as the Southern, they called it, just a second, STC means Southern Transitional Council, and it is supported by UAE. The UAE backed units are there. So it is all working in the southern area, and the STC dominated south. That can be a new country very soon. So this triangle, UAE, Iran, Saudi Arabia triangle, is very complex, and Riyadh's inability is well exposed here, and its objectives are not fulfilled in the Yemen. And now it will turn towards some strong states like Pakistan, because Pakistan is a kind of an iron arm of the Muslim world. It has nuclear power. So many countries rely on this country for extreme situations. Now Saudi Arabia has some situation, and already they were maintaining good relations with Pakistan, as we saw when the Saudi Arabia's prince visit was there in India. After that he went to Pakistan, and a golden gun was given to Imran Khan and all these important indications were there that they were maintaining great relations with Pakistan. Now more reliance will be there on Pakistan, and Pakistan's forces are already there in Saudi Arabia and Jordan. They are protecting these countries, because they do not have that much military might, but Pakistan has. So Pakistan and Egypt, they may help Saudi Arabia very soon in the future. And the Houthis, they are undefeated, still they are undefeated, and they may take the north. very soon. Now, in these lines, when it is going to be divided, then the geopolitics will totally change, and it has exposed many rifts. It has exposed many issues within this West Asian region, and more devastation in the West Asian region is more beneficial for countries like America there. So that's apparently clear. Okay, as I told you, Saudi Aramco is heavily affected, and its ongoing negotiations of two major upstream investments in India. Upstream investments in India for the first time means it will establish its units there, upstream units, and which is close to $30 billion. So it is the largest investment till now. That also may be affected. And the second thing, as I told you, the drone attacks. These kind of things may put Indian condition in a very vulnerable phase, because these terror groups in Kashmir are working, and other many groups are a kind of a great enemies for India. They may use drone attacks, so we need to be very much careful about these things. Our intelligence, our technologies, they must be upgraded very soon, because drone attacks can be the next thing. This year drone Olympiad happened, and I asked you many questions regarding that in the PIB data, and drone Olympiad was a new thing, and we are in a need to progress in this area, because this is a very sensitive area. This is a great boon and bane both. Boon because it can be very useful in many service deliveries, but it can deliver bombs also. That's why it's a very useful and a very dangerous thing, both drones. So for drones we need to be very much careful. Now the next thing, the economic insecurity. As we are dependent, world's third largest crude importer as India is, and we will be at a great loss if these prices are going to rise very soon. So we need to front load our India's biofuel program that is lagging, and we need strong steps there. And second, the strategic petroleum reserves. Today we have these reserves in Visakhapatnam, Karnataka, Udupi's Padur facility, and the Mangalore facility. These three places are there, and total 5.33 million tons reserves we have. So they are close to 9.5 days. That means without any import for 9.5 days we will be secure, but it's a short-term relief, and that is never going to support for a long period of time. So these are the phase ones, and in phase 2 we are going to develop Chandi Khol in Odisha, in Jajpur district, Bikaner in Rajasthan, and one more facility at Padur, Karnataka, and this will lead to important reserve of additional 10 million tons, and total 15.33 million tons will be the strategic reserve that is needed. And more facilities we will propose after that in Gujarat and other areas. So these must be hastened now, because we have a dire need today, and anything may happen in the future, and any kind of war, any kind of escalation can be there, and countries like America, they may trigger any kind of situation internationally, and especially in the Middle East. So we will be at the greatest loss if we will still be dependent on these imports. Although 80% demands are coming through import, so we are heavily dependent today, and these reserves are not too huge. So we have to be very careful here, because our economics is dependent on this imported oil, and without this import things will be extremely difficult. Already Iran pressure is there, and we have cut down our imports from Iran, and now if Saudi Arabia is incapable and other countries will also be troubled, then this can be a devastating situation very soon in the future. So we need to be careful about that. The stock markets, they have got its impact there due to this crisis, because anything may be there, any speculation may run now, and we need to be very careful here. Okay, so this was all, and regarding these reserves and all these issues, I have given some additional information in these 2 pages, and you can see these areas, and these are the pictures, actually the map pictures where these facilities are there. Saudi Arabia, Rubal Khali Desert, UAE, Qatar, this is Persian Gulf, and these Upcake refinery and core oil fields. Actually these are upstream processes, not downstream. The biggest downstream is there in Jamnagar in Gujarat. Okay, and the biggest upstream is there in Saudi Aramco's these facilities. Okay, next, I had discussed this article yesterday only, so we will move further. One important article that was left yesterday regarding the regional situation of this country, means in the states, what's happening. Krishna Kumar Singh landed at the post-mortem facility in Chunar, Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh. Mirzapur, you must be remembering this name. They have run an important violent aggressive series with the name of Mirzapur, and similar kind of things happened there. And what we learned from that Netflix series of Mirzapur, the similar kind of situations we have observed in reality there. And you see, this is an iconic situation because it is telling you a horrible story or a horrible reality of the states of this country, where law and order is there in the hands of state governments, and the network of journalists and the right reporting and the ideal reporting which must be there, which is in a devastating state. And there is no support to these journalists who want to do something for the area, who are reporting truly, and who want to work in a progress of the society, and they are telling informations about the land mafias and the bigger crimes there. But they have no support, they have no security, there is no support, their pays are not fixed, and they are having many insecurities. But instead of that, only with the bravery and the concern for this country, they are revealing a lot, and because of that they are getting threats, they are losing their lives, and they are jailed by the government. It is really shocking. The Pawan Jaiswal case, the journalist who had been charged with the criminal conspiracy for the government, means he was reporting from a primary school, and he was showing with the video that the poor kids, they are eating rotis with salt in the midday meal. It was actually a reality, it was a video, it was exposing the state there, it was exposing the situation there, and that journalist was charged with a criminal conspiracy. Nothing can be a worse day for a country like India, and I'm telling you, no more a great country, because these things are a reality in the states. And that's why there's a huge day-night difference between the metro cities and the other cities of this country and the other areas of this country. If you leave aside Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai and all these cities, then whole India is almost similar in these conditions, their thought process, their ways, their lifestyles and all, as they were there 50 years back. And some things are worse than that, because the powerful rich classes, they are developing in these areas, and they can manage politicians, they can manage business people, they can manage so it's all a devastating picture in the areas which are a countryside, which are states there. So today it's a kind of a phase that is going on in this country, and we should surely condemn this, because there are intentional cases against many leaders, and they may be criminals, or they may be any kind of problematic people for the society. They are targeted, but these are political vendettas. There are other cases too, where video evidences are there. A case is going on regarding the Chinman and person. 43 videos are there, but still the person is out, and they are not able to file the charge sheet there, and that person is not behind the bars. The Kuldeep Sengar case, we all know about that, and all people, how they were hounded and they were killed. So it is all a case of a total tyrannous state, and it's all a nexus between the criminals and the politicians and the police authorities there. Who will reveal all these things? These poor journalists, but they do not have any security, they do not have any support. They are facing intimidation, threats, abuse, coercion and false police cases. More vulnerable these are. They are poorly paid, few rights, statutory entitlements are not there, randomly sacked these people are, political pressures are there, administrative excesses are there. If they report anything, one day if the information is out, then the other day that thing can be managed very easily with these with these authorities, by these rich criminals and the powerful people. We had similar cases in the case of Ram Rahim, the godman there, the Ram Rahim person. There also one journalist who was bravely exposing all these things, though that person was killed. So these kind of things must be changed, and if we do not change these things, means we are nowhere demanding a progressive country. The mainstream media of this country, which who are running these media channels, and they are sitting with all suit boots and all, they are running agendas. They are already devastating this country, and the people who are brave in these regional areas, they are hounded like that. So you can understand the situation of this country, what kind of future we will have, and why things don't change. So that is all for today. We will take the other things tomorrow, because scheduling issues are there. So thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit signing.